Why, hello and welcome everybody. It is Pohx again. So today I'm here to give you guys my first impressions of Albion. I did one like this a very long time ago. I want to say it was the Winter Alpha. So that's near like a year ago. I did a first impressions of the game. Now I'm here to give you guys kind of like a more updated first impressions and really tell you guys how I feel about the game. So first off, let's talk about, what is Albion? Albion is basically a true sandbox MMORPG. Sandbox meaning, you go around, you cut down trees, you gather wood. These are like the basics of the game, the basic fundamentals. You start crafting your gear, then you move on, you tier up in that, then you can start chopping down better wood, mining better ore, killing higher tiered mobs, skinning higher tier leather, and it kind of all snowballs in an effect from there. And that's kind of how all the gear starts. So crafting is a very, very, very big part of this game. Also, it kind of shares a little bit of the similarities of RuneScape. If you look at the map here, which I'm about to bring up, oops, here we go, here's the map. If you look at the map, you can see you have like neutral zones, semi-PvP, and full PvP. Alright, so these would be neutral, green ones. Anything yellowish is like semi-PvP, which means if you die, you lose a bit of your resources in your inventory, as well as losing a bit of your silver. Red is full PvP, meaning if you die, you drop everything that's in your inventory. Everything. It's all, including your mounts. They're all gone. All your gear, all your mount, goodbye. And that kind of brings a pretty interesting theme into the game. Now, I will say that this game is not tailored to solo playing whatsoever, and the reason for that is, if you look at the map down here, a good like 40% of the map is all red, right? And what that means is, as you start getting further into the game, it really pushes you to kind of want to be in a guild and or a clan, of some sort. Anyway, let's talk about the customization. What does the game really offer me? So you've got a Destiny board here, and your Destiny board is essentially like, a skill tree, right? Except you don't allocate anything. So in Albion, you have 3 different armor types and 3 different base weapon types. Although there's way more, but I'm just going to explain it like that for now. So you've got leather, cloth, and plate, and each one offers you something different. Leather is the most mobility, plate is obviously the most tanky, and cloth gives you actual more damage to your physical and your magical attacks, as well as energy regeneration. Leather also has stealth in it, and you can mix and match your pieces of gear however you want. So when you're crafting gear, right? So say I want to make a medium leather armor, right? A tier 3 one. You can actually look at the spells and you can pick. So you get to pick one passive and one active on pretty much every piece of gear. So you can pick, when you're not in combat, you can heal HP, which is more of like a sustain spec, and invisibility, which is like a ganking spec, or a pulsating field, which is like, I guess, a CC spec kind of, and then you've got your passive for movement speed, resistance, or CC duration. Or, yeah. And each piece of gear has something like that, and that's what makes it different. Some of them still share stuff, but like if we pick up a cloth piece, right? Let's look at a cloth chest piece. Chest pieces usually have kind of similar things. So you can see this is a knockback to everything. I still have the heal, and makes you immobile, invulnerable to attacks, and cleanse all negative effects. Increased damage by 10%, heals are stronger, and cast speed goes up. Now, as you start killing mobs with the gear on, you start gaining experience in that field. So for example, I've already completed the basics of this, which is the Journeyman Light Armor Fighter, which allows me to wear Journeyman Cloth Armor. And to do that, you have to kill mobs with the gear before this. And then that upgrades again. You can see it's now working its way to the next tier. And then when you get this, it'll work its way to the next tier, and it'll work its way to the next tier. The same thing works with weapons. You have a base weapon type. So you have like the Fighters Guild, alright, right here. You would have like the Archery Guild or like the Assassin Guild, and then you'd have the Mages Guild. And the beginning part, it doesn't matter what you use, because it's like a global thing. It hasn't branched out to specifics yet. So as long as you're using a bow or some school of magic or a melee weapon to begin with, you'll gain experience in that. After you get about to tier 4 is when the game becomes unique. That's when you can decide in each class what weapon you want to use, right? So you've got sword, battle axe, mace, hammer, crossbow. Each one comes with their own set of skills. They're unique to themselves, and each one has its own use. One could be for mobility. One could be for crowd control. One could be for crowd control breaking. One could be for interrupting. One could be more for as a gap closing. Another one could be more defensive. Now, as you tier them up, right, you become more specialized in your field of weapon. Furthermore, the higher the tier the weapon, the more choices you get to pick from. So, not only is your weapon unique to you, or your weapon is your class thing is unique to you, somebody could be using the same weapon as you, but with a completely different build. You know, they could be using, a plate armored crossbow, and you could be like full YOLO deeps, right? So say you went head and boots as cloth, but then you took the leather chest plate so you could go invis. So now you have two-piece cloth, one-piece leather with a crossbow, completely opposite playstyles the other guy. You have completely different armor sets and possibly even different skill sets on your weapon. So that's really cool about the game. It does give you a lot of customization on that. And that's like a third of it. You know, that's just the combat side. You also have the farming side, which I haven't really done much in, but you have your own personal island, and you can kind of grow crops on it where it's away from everything. And then you've got like all the harvesting here, which I don't really know too much about. And then I guess there's this too. I don't even know what this is. This is Journeyman Warriors Equipment Craft. Oh, I know what this is. This is the crafter gear. So now, going on into it, remember how I was talking about specifics? How you have like the general thing, and then it branches out into specifics? That's what makes the game really team-oriented. So basically, you need to figure out exactly what it is that you want to do with your character, and stick to that one field. And then your friend would do the complete opposite. He would pick something else, and go down his field. And you guys could benefit off each other, because if you're trying to work two things at once, it's half as slow. Maybe even less than half as slow. So it takes a really, really, really long time to start, you know, to try to branch into multiple fields. You know, it's like if you went through crossbow, right, and you got all the way to here, and you decided I want to go to hammers, I mean, it's going to take you a lot of grinding to go all the way into hammers here. But you can still do it. You know, you have the flexibility to do that. But if you're trying to push for, you know, like to be the first to this or to be the first to that, it's going to be like everyone's going to specialize in something different. You know, one guy's going to take mining, one guy's going to take wood cutting, one guy's going to take skinning, or you could do a little bit of both, but usually it's going to be one person. And then vice versa, when it comes to crafting, you can like flood your materials to one guy, so he can get really high in this, and you know, now even if you guys die, he's got it covered. He can make the armor no problem because he's already got the efficiency, you know, like the efficiency to do it. So that pretty much goes over that. The combat is, I guess, is like basic action based, if that makes sense. You know, you can move around. It's freestyle while you're fighting. I'd show you, but I think this place is full right now. Some of my biggest concerns with the game are dungeon layouts. So basically, I drew a paint document. I don't know if I still have it. I don't know. I don't have it anymore. Basically, in this game, if you enter a hostile area, right? So say we go here, right here, and then you can see there's a dungeon right here. Well, when you go into a dungeon, it's kind of like a narrow area. So it's kind of like there's only one way to get to the end. You know, like when you get to the end of the dungeon, you can teleport out. And as you're clearing the dungeon, you know, you're killing monsters. But if a group of people come from behind you to kill you, you can't go anywhere. You're pretty much dead. That's like one of the few things I dislike about the game right now. I don't think they need to change it necessarily. I just think it needs some work because you're literally stuck. You can't do anything. You can't go backwards because you're going to run into them. You can't go forwards because there's mobs and a potential boss at the end. You cannot teleport out of combat. You can't force everyone to play stealth because, I mean, that's you know, limiting your customization in the game right now. So it's not like you can say like, oh, well, you could just stealth. Yeah, let me just tell all 7 of my friends, always have this chest piece on you so we can cheese the game and just stealth out of combat. They are implementing like anti-Zerg mechanics, people are saying, where like if you get outnumbered, you get bonuses, but I mean, I don't think that's going to stop you from getting CC locked and stuff. So there are still some things they need to work on. Now, of course, if you want to avoid all that shit, you always can, but you know, I look at it from like a global perspective, not just for me. Even, you know, regardless if you're a solo player, a team-oriented player, a guild leader, if you go in a dungeon with 45 people and 50 people come from behind, you know, and everyone is an average player, chances are you're going to die still. You know, you should never have to use the excuse of, oh, well, if you're better, you could just 1v7. That's flawed game mechanics, you know. But yeah, other than that, you know, I'm still excited to see how the game is going to improve over time. Because it is a fun game, man. It is a really fun game. You know, I miss playing actual, you know, like old style sandbox based games. So anyway, if you like the game, you know, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Remember, you can check this game out at Albion. We're currently in a closed beta that's up for about 3 months. Yeah, not really too sure when release is coming, but we're all fucking excited for it, man. So anyway, hope you guys have a great time. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Remember, check out the live stream sometime as well. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Take care, everybody.